Hey, Toros family, Mr. Reyna here with Miss Manzano, and we wanted to, give you guys a little bit of an update. There's been a lot going on over the summer, and it's just a different time. So, I want to thank you for joining us, Miss Manzano. How are you doing? How are your weeks going right now?
They're going by so quickly. There's so much work to do, a lot of planning, last minute changes. We're excited to share with you all some of the information we have. And I know families are all beginning of the school year, so we want to come at you through video and answer some of those questions. How are you doing, Mr. Rena?
I'm doing well, I mean, it's definitely been a busy time and a different time, but through it all, still excited about the upcoming year, and I'm getting to meet some of the new families and things like that through phone calls, through Welcome to Ideas. So still a lot to be excited about. And one of the questions that I've been getting, when we return to school, what are some of the precautions we're going to have in place and things like that. And so, we've been really planning to accept the students for August 10th. Of course, that changed recently, but just to let you know some of the things that we will have in place when they do eventually return. We're doing plexiglass, the sneeze guards on all the desks. We have the desks all social distance, right? So there's a maximum of 15 desks per classroom. We had, some times built into the day. We had, the seeing upon arrival where we are going to be, checking temperatures and things like that. So definitely a lot of operational precautions that we've been planning and getting in place. However, again, it did all change here just a couple of days ago, and so it looks like August 10th we will be going with digital learning, with the virtual learning, and so we'll still have all that ready when they return. But Miss Manzano, maybe you can share a little bit about more now the plan, because we will still start August 10th. We'll just do it with the distance learning, right? So maybe you can share a
Yeah,
little bit about that.
I'm partially disappointed, right? I know this is the best decision for student safety, but we really wanted to see kids back. So we're a little disappointed, but when we're ready, when it's time to come back, we'll be able to do so safely. So we're going to continue preparing for that. Um, and so we will be starting on August 10th. That's still our start date. But instead of being in person, we will be beginning virtually. And so for our new families that are joining us, we will actually be starting with a virtual orientation. So in your welcome letters you should have received by now, you will see the dates and how to log in so that you can understand a little bit more about how we work. I'm really excited because the learning program that we're using through Summit Learning, the system that we've used, this is our 5th year working with Summit. It really is going to lend itself for this virtual learning. The first thing that comes to mind, a lot of families are worried, well, it's not going to be the same. They're not going to have access to the same content. Like, we still have very rigorous content because our content has been the same. It is the same content that we have when we are here in person. And so I'm really excited that kids have access to this. Students will still be able to collaborate. It's a different way of collaboration. It'll have to be virtual, but students will still be able to collaborate with each other on projects. Students will still be going live with teachers. So there's two systems that our students and families will need to be familiar with. The first one is Summit, and that's where all of our core classes are, some of our electives as well. Students will be taught the skills that they need for self-direction, which is a huge component of our school. Even without distance learning, even before a pandemic, that was already a big part of our system. And so we're going to teach students what they need to know to be able to be successful. And then the other platform we use is Teams, and this is where students can log in live for classes with the teacher, to meet with their group projects. This is our live way of interacting. And so we still have those two systems that we're using. We learned a lot over the last few months. Those of you who were with us last semester got to work on Teams already. And so we've learned a lot more about what we can use with Teams in those live interactions. And so I'm really looking forward to it. We also have with Summit the mentoring piece where we have our teachers connecting with students. They're assigned a group of students, and these are the kids that they connect with every couple of weeks to check progress, to see where they're struggling, to really make sure that they're developing the skills that they need in order to learn to be really successful. Our students, we increased our AP scores. We got those results recently, and so that was even in the midst of the pandemic. Like, we really increased our scores, so I'm really excited about what this whole year is going to bring as well. One thing to keep in mind, we are going to be keeping as much of a school environment as possible, so we want to encourage families to find that workspace where students are. It might be the dining room table, it might be a desk. There's different ways we can set up our workspace. But one thing that we are going to ask is that we be ready to log in every day. We're going to be sharing a schedule soon. We had to adjust that too. We had a schedule up until yesterday, and then we need to adjust that as well, and we'll be sharing that with families soon. Students will be coming in uniform, at least the uniform polo, and so we want to keep as much of a school environment as possible to really focus on learning. And so getting those routines, waking up early in the morning, making sure that we're ready to start the day is going to be really important too.
Absolutely. And, I remember when we went into the distance learning phase, back in March, one of the things that I did right away was kind of set up my home office, and so I'm a big DIY guy, so I kind of put a wall up and this kind of stuff, and made my little workspace. And it really helps, it really helps to have a dedicated space. I feel like even though I'm just walking to my bedroom, I feel like I'm going to work when I sit down, So things like that, can really help. It's the summer. Maybe, at home you have some time to set up that workplace that's going to be used during the school year. We still want them in the polo, right? Whether they have pants or shorts, we're going to know, right? If they're wearing jeans, but what we do want them in that polo so that we have that professional environment. We're still setting that expectation. We will be providing, laptops for our students, for those of the families that don't have laptops, things like that. I did move to a one-to-one, and so that process will start to take here as we've ordered more laptops, things like that. So we want to make sure that our students have what they need to be successful. And like you said, we're going to continue planning for their return. We know we're starting off with distance learning, but those things that I mentioned before, and then several other things that I didn't get to mention, we're going to make sure that the school is ready and as safe as possible. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that we're ready. So we're excited about the new year. Any last comments, Miss Manzano?
Yes, you mentioned about technology, and so we want to ask our families to help us with this process. Some students, we're still pending the return of their computers. We do need to clean them out, to prepare them for next year, and so we really need those final computers to be brought in. We will have another technology distribution schedule. We are beginning with students who have to go to culture camp, who do not have a device for orientation. If you do not have a device, please come in. We have the 24th and the 27th are the days for new students to pick up technology if you need it. And the reason that I'm stressing if you do not have a device at home is because while we have ordered them, we want to make sure that everybody has access to technology, and we don't know when they're coming in. A lot of school districts have made a lot of orders for computers, and so there's a lot of back order on that, and we want to make sure that everybody who needs one has one, and then when they come in, we will be ready to have everybody have a school computer. We just ask for families' support in letting students who do not have access get those computers first, and then we will eventually have every single student with a school computer.
Absolutely. And, I do also want to mention that, we still have some spaces available. And so, again, this is something that the last year where we will have openings in the grade levels like 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. So it's kind of like the last year we're accepting in all grade levels. This year, our school should be full this year, right? That's the plan. That's where we're headed. That means that all of our 10th graders will move up to 11th grade. There won't be room for students to come in. Next year, really, the only place we're going to have space is in 8th grade because we have 37th graders who will be moving up, and so we'll only have space for 30 new students next year. So, that's a huge difference. This year we had space for 150 new students in all grade levels, and where next year it's like we only have space for 38th graders. So I do want to encourage y'all to, if you know anyone who's interested in coming to school, anyone who could benefit, it definitely is a great place to be, especially now with COVID and with the we have with the distance learning, being a reality for everyone in the valley. That's just a reality for everyone in the
Yeah.
valley, and we have a system that is built for that,
It's not new.
you know.
It's not new to us, right? We've been working with this for 4 years already, successfully for 4 years. This is not new for us. We know what we're doing with this system, and we have the tools, we have the system that's supporting it, we have the structures in place to help support students through this time. I am confident that students will continue to get a high quality education through this time.
Absolutely. So we want to just encourage y'all, that if you know any families out there who would like to be a part of that you think may enjoy coming to Idea Toros, please, have them reach out to us, have them reach out to me directly. Most of you have my number, 956-878-2007, or send us their information and we'll reach out to them. Also, we want to continue to give some updates, and so we'll ask is that you send us any questions that you have. Again, my number 956-878-2007. Text in some questions that we can do, we can kind of follow up with in our next video because we know there's a lot of questions out there. And so feel free to send any questions you have. In the next video, we will address those. Which we want to put out regularly because we know things are changing, day to day, things like that. So, Ms. Manzano, any kind of last words here?
Uh, well, I think you summed it up correctly. We want to continue to be in touch. We know that there's a lot of new information. Every day things are changing. And so we want to provide you with the best information possible. We also want to be able to answer specific concerns that you may have. If you say, well, this is something everybody's been asking about, it'd be good for everyone. Or if it's very specific to your situation, we're more than happy to talk through that with you as well. I'm very excited for this year. Beginning differently, even though it may be, I am really, really excited for what the year has to offer. Like I said, we learned a lot in the last few months with digital, learning from March to May. So adding that, especially the live component, adding that to what we already have with Summit, I'm really excited. It's going to be a really good year.
Absolutely. And I just encourage y'all to be safe out there as we say goodbye. Be safe. This is a very real situation, and these are very tough decisions that are being made, and it's the safety of the kids and with everyone at the forefront. So, we encourage y'all to be safe, and again, we look forward to communicating going forward as we prepare for this year and enter into, the 2020-2021 school year. Thank you.
Absolutely. Bye, everybody.